Do you like that? I actually have so much fun editing in the Vine meme at the front and in the middle of my videos, but yes. Welcome back to my video. It is Jamsis, your local off-brand aggro player, and I just like to thank everybody for their support, especially my friends and like the people that have really reached out to me and helped me. I really appreciate it. And to get into this match, this person banned my favorite opener slash aggressive support, so I picked Steny because I just felt like it. They pick Hwayoung, and immediately I'm gonna go aggressive because who wants to play standard to Hwayoung? Not me. So yeah, I don't like Hwayoung, but I do like her to delete cancerous standard units, which is like my favorite use. But anyway, I started drafting aggressively. Like I don't really care about this AOL because I can outspeed it with my fire hand guy, and my Diane is fast with no ER, but my Amelia is slow with a really high ER, so it kind of balances out. My opponent sees the double Soldier pick and picks Politis, but like, whatever. And they pick Acid to speed contest. And if you notice something about this draft from my opponent's side, is that he doesn't actually have a lot of damage outside of Hwayoung. So I last phase APOC here and ban Hwathek, rip, and ban Hwathek. Sorry, I'm having stroke. Because I'm pretty confident that my APOC can outlast and demolish the rest of his team. And even if APOC gets banned, I'm very confident in my Soul Weaver's ability to keep Steny alive. And that's what happens. So I kind of sacrifice Fire Hand Guy's life here to the Acid because my Fire Hand Guy isn't 300 speed. Very tragic. Yeah. Rip 20 souls, which is what I'm more sad about in this match. Even though there's a Politis, I'm gonna press my buttons because why? I'm an aggro player. I like pressing buttons. That is very fun, right? Politis procs her S2. She's on crown. Oh, it looks like this Politis actually isn't on damage, which is kind of surprising because for the most part,
I don't care. Okay. I really don't give a fuck.
yeah, I'm just gonna press my buttons with Amelia. I have enough ER to resist most things, but just in case this AOL is one of those like weird 200 effectiveness AOLs. I used to run one of those, by the way. I kill it first. This match is already over because Acid and Politis does not have enough damage to kill Diane and Amelia before Steny kills the rest of his team. Steny isn't mitigated by A-Roz's shield on the backline because her S1 doesn't count as a single attack if her S3 is on cooldown. So this is the rest of the match of me just stalling it out, not caring Politis exists, pressing my non-attack buttons anyway. It's very rewarding, you know? Outdrafting your opponent and then winning. It doesn't happen the most, but feels good when it does. Oh, this Politis was higher attack than Acid, but did no damage. That's kind of weird, but like, whatever. Yeah. Oh, I would like to say that hopefully today's audio is better. I forgot to record the in-game audio for this because I actually play on mute. I play all my games on mute. I'm really weird like that. But yeah, hopefully the volume control between my Vine memes and me talking is a bit better today. Because I did receive some feedback about that being a little sketchy. But if you guys have any other feedback, like please let me know. I'm like very interested to hear what I can do better, or like what you guys like and what you guys don't like. This is a hobby for me, but I like doing stuff correctly or like well, you know? So, always something to do. Yeah. It's so weird to see politics do nothing. And I think this is one of the issues with politics, is that sometimes, even if you pick her correctly, she doesn't do enough. Or in cases like single target cleave or aggro playstyle, they just ignore politics. But I win, so on to the next. Well, in this match, Conquer Lilius is open, so you know I gotta slam it down because I am an 8th aggro player. They pick Edward, which I have mixed feelings against into Conquer Lilius because after he gets debuff, you don't actually have to hit him, which I find is like one of the problems. If you draft a lot of single target, which is not that uncommon in the meta, Edward, even if debuffed, can just like sit there. Like you'll notice it a lot with single target cleaves or like single target centric aggro with like Hwayoung and stuff. I pick my bait standard picks and then go really aggressive on the last few picks. You know, you guys are used to it. You see me do it all the time. I think this is a match for Ida because it's always a good Ida game, you know? Except when Bild's on the board. But yeah, Ida's one of the premier aggro units because of her serum manipulation. I pick Hwayoung because Hwayoung's like good against everything. I have to ban Judge Kize because skill resets are really bad for my team. This DM's gonna outspeed me, but I don't really see what he's gonna do considering that my Stenny's pretty protected. Surprisingly, he chooses to S2 instead of S3, but I don't know, maybe this Edward's gonna do something. So he S2s into Ida and hits her. So big trash. It's okay. My Ida is built with a bit of bulk just to survive those. He surprisingly doesn't S2 Ida, but S3's Ida and kills her. So this match is gonna get kind of difficult because I was gonna use Ida's S2 to strip the defense and barrier off, but it should be fine. Hwayoung's balanced. Yeah, Hwayoung's so balanced. I should be able to pull this out. I soulburn Hwayoung to get extreme cycling onto her S3. Stenny flashes a pic of her dirty feet at Lermia and she dies. Very cool. And now it's Stenny and Hwayoung versus Edward. I'm feeling pretty good because even though Stenny can debuff Edward and Edward can counterattack on it, it doesn't do that much damage, and Stenny damage really ramps up over time. Hwayoung has 1 turn left on her S3 because of the soul burn giving extra cycling, so it should be all good, but we'll have to see. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, actually I forgot. It's okay, I'll come back to it. But anyway, back to the match. It's just, this is why I don't really love playing standard. It's like the matches end up being a grind fest, and of course Aras lands the defense break and Hwayoung dies, but I'm still feeling good. Maybe Stenny can pull us out. This Edward's doing a lot more damage than I thought because my Mediator Cowrick is not that squishy, you know? Though I guess Stenny missing crits a billion times is not really helping what's going on. The soul burn from Aras is really adding up too. I was debating whether to S3 or S2 for the bulk, but I was thinking that my hand guy wouldn't die or you'd be able to cycle through Warhorn like this. I strip off all the buffs and we get a lucky resist. But I'm about to soul burn and dump my load all over this Edward. So I don't know how much that mattered. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, even though Senny's uncounterable, it doesn't really matter because he's coded to be like Remer's S2 or Mercedes S2 with Magic for Friends. Yeah, it's looking kind of tough because if my hand guy does end up going down, there's a very real possibility that this DN and Aras can actually kill my Stenny, and RNG's on their side with the anti-crit plus defense buff, which also heals him. And yes, all my cooldowns are down. I don't get a lucky dual attack. It looks like my hand guy's about to die here, so unless my Stenny does some Omega Nuke damage. No, we missed the crit on Aras. Not sure how much that mattered, but it looks pretty over. Oh, I resist the defense break, but it really doesn't matter. With Rod healing, sustaining them, and my Stenny not being on lifesteal, because I don't farm Banshee, it's pretty much over. Sag. Unlucky, dude. This match, I actually got so unlucky. I actually am thinking of making an RNG compilation, because there is a lot of those that are cord. But moving on to the next match. They ban not Concordelia, so you know, I have to slam it down, because I'm a monkey. You know. It's aggro, guys. I'm also Emperor, or crab rank, as they say, you know, like, I'm not very intelligent. This guy picks APOC, and also they pick a politic. So this kind of looks like a cleave setup to me. So, which is why I personally pivoted into Watcher Shuri and Acid, because that's, I like to race cleavers. That's you know, there's like a few ways to anti-cleave, and some of them is through speed, and some of them is through like tanking down, but I don't really have tank down gear, so like I'm left to race them, you know. This guy apparently was not cleaving, or like he got discouraged to cleave by my picks, so he transitions into an AOL, except I'm not too sure what an AOL does against my draft, because she's bad against Sea Lilius, bad against single target, so anyway, since I am pretty confident he's not going to cleave me with a Rem APOC, I decide to go into more standard picks here with Hand Guy and Hwayoung, because these are like a very guaranteed type of units. Like, I'm very confident I can grind out a standard game with like this lineup, because Watcher Shuri can trade 1 for 1. And Acid can delete Politis or AOL because I'm going to let them through. Unless he bans it, of course, but like, I have supports to back it up. Oh yeah, the question I wanted to ask was, do you guys notice the lack of in-game music? Does that make a lot of difference, or can I just raw dog the audio like this? He makes a really smart pick here with the Ruel, because my draft is single target focused, and he bans Hwayoung, understandably, but he is really underestimating the damage potential of the units I do have. My speed units are tuned, so Acid does outspeed Celius if they don't speed RNG each other. And my Acid is a real Acid, so the deleted. I love the cupcake moans, by the way. They're not going away anytime soon, so if you don't like them, really sorry. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. AOL is such a bad pick here, because into my first 3 units, she does really poorly into all of them. And then it turns out she wasn't even an ER variant either, so I wasn't too sure what this draft was about. Anyway, my Watcher Shuri is about to go. I was contemplating whether to go into Rem or APOC, but I think the safer play is just to delete.
Oh, that's a lot of damage!
The revive option in APOC. I love my Watcher Shuri. He's built to be able to take a hit and delete most APOCs, even on proof, with just attack buff. But, yeah. Luckily, Rem doesn't counter that much, but I don't think it would have mattered, because with Rin Rider, attack buff Assassin Sid, he definitely does more than enough damage to finish him off, and Rem doesn't do enough damage to heal because I'm not doing AoE hits on people outside of Rem. So it's all good. And the match is over. We've defeated the evil of AOL. On to the last match of today. They actually do ban Conqueror Lilius, so I am big Sag. But it's okay, I have my favorite girl that doesn't wash her feet, Stenny. I don't know why, but her base skin just... The unwashed feet meme is just too good. This guy, my opponent, is tricked successfully into thinking that I am playing standard, but oh no, that is too boring. I have things to do, such as making bad choices in RTA. So I go directly into my aggressive picks. Carlos and Firehand Guy. I actually do really like Firehand Guy because 2 seasons ago when I started competitive RTA, I actually used to run a speed Rylet to nuke targets, but Rimurus would actually cuck me so hard because if they had any sort of mitigation and I wasn't able to one-shot Rimuru, they would get attack buff and evasion. And I would basically lose from there. So Fire Hand Guy is like one of my best answers to Rimuru outside of like AOL. So I would definitely recommend if you are having trouble with Rimurus. He picks like your standard anti-cleave. I guess Mercedes isn't that standard anti-cleave, but if you notice that he has a very buff-centric comp with Rimuru and Hand Guy, so I pick Landy. And you might look to my team on the left and say, wow, that's a lot of DPS units with no support. But I would like to point out, or like I would just like to explain that this is like a valid drafting strategy. Like it can actually work because the enemy opponent doesn't really have mitigation either. The AOL is a really good pick here, so I have to ban it, but other than that, he bans, or I think he's going to ban Closer because he thinks that without support, my team doesn't do enough damage, but incorrect. I have a Speed Landy built just for this situation. I have a Speed Landy with 60 souls to soul burn his team until it dies. And yeah, just pretend like his team has a lot of oil and I'm about to bring so much freedom to his enemy team, you know? I don't want to actually kill this Rimuru because the buff steal actually helps me. And the Rem counter actually helps me here. Because when my Landy S3s, if she still had Guiding Light, Rimuru would have countered. And I'm not too sure if my Landy would have survived it. Because you'll see from this S3.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Yeah, that Rimuru was kind of squishy. But, you know, it's justice because it happened to me. And we win. Freedom. Right? Democracy. Okay, sorry. I'm not actually that political, but I just had to. But that's the video for today, you know? Thank you for watching. Leave a comment, subscribe. Leave me a hate comment. I like those, actually.